Well, hello everyone and welcome to the second part of this Madoka Magica watch through, where we're talking about the third movie, I think. I didn't actually look into this, but I'm pretty sure it's the third movie called Rebellion. It's the only original movie. I think the other two were like recaps or something, but I've never seen them, so I have no idea. This is my third time watching it. I've seen it twice before. I'm joined by Kyle Entertainment, who just watched the anime for the first time, and this is his first time watching this movie.
Yep, it wasn't in this fucking movie, EliteAri, you lying piece of shit.
You know what? I didn't even realize.
You told me last time it might be.
I thought it might be, it makes sense, but nope. There was a bunch of other music. There was a lot I didn't know about this movie, okay, or remember about it.
Yep. I know everything, of course, but we'll get into that. Now, EliteAri, this is truly, now this was an alternate little intro I was going to do, but I had two, so I'm going to do them both. EliteAri, this is truly Madoka Magica.
Okay, very funny, yeah.
Wait, now, so do I actually mean it this time? You'll never know.
Yeah. Well, I have a guess because of some inference I made from something someone said when he was streaming, but that's just my guess.
Nobody said nothing? What are you talking
Kyle,
about?
okay, no, you know what? Let's just be clear now, Kyle. So what did you think about this movie?
Oh, a good 8 out of 10, just like the original series.
Okay, so it's a good movie, solid movie. That's good to hear.
Yes, I was just being funny again, EliteAri.
All right, fantastic. Well, I'm glad, because I love this movie. It's still just as great as I ever thought, okay?
Before you shut your mouth, you're going to shut your mouth, and I'm going to speculate on why EliteAri loves this movie so much. So, EliteAri, if I remember things correctly, now maybe this has changed, but EliteAri, I think the original series is like a 6 out of 10, but this movie is the greatest thing of all time, 10 out of 10 masterpiece, correct?
I think the series is like an 8 or a 9, This one's a masterpiece. I love this. Greatest thing ever made.
Okay. Does it get a 10 out of 10 on your My Anime list?
Oh, absolutely. This thing, yeah. Actually, that's a good question. I don't even know if it's on my anime list, actually, because I think I have Madoka on there, and I don't have this movie. I probably should.
Oh, yeah, that's because EliteAri does the thing where he only puts the first season of shows.
Yeah. Maybe I can separate this
makes fun of him for that. Now, I believe I did my letterbox. Let me just go here. Films. Everybody hold on. Nope, you don't click on films because this fucking website, though being the best of the Mal variants, is also a piece of shit. So you got to click on your thing, then go films. Otherwise, it just shows you the fucking movies that just came out. And also, I don't have my things ordered and things, so it's showing me Napoleon because it's the most recent movie I've seen in terms of how most recently it came out. Thankfully, we're only going back to 2013 for this Part 3 movie, EliteAri. It'd serve you well to remember it, you idiot.
Yep.
Now, let me see. Days of Future Past, it's 2014.
What are you looking
2013. I'm looking for the movie.
Why? What are you?
4 stars, EliteAri.
Okay.
I did add it to my
Perfect. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah. For me, 5 stars. Obviously. Were you gonna say something, or you want me to continue?
Oh my god, EliteAri! Here it is on your letterbox with 5 out of 5 stars.
Yep. Probably has a heart next to it, I assume, because it's a great movie.
No heart. What with also a 5-star review? No, that's Numanji. I'm racist. Then we've got Krastorf, only 4.5 stars from him. The great former Digibro, now Trixie the Golden Witch, EliteAri. 2.5 stars,
That's great.
Hey, you didn't watch that video I sent you, huh?
No, I didn't. Yeah, Kyle sent me a video saying I didn't watch it yet. All right, we're going into this fresh, okay? Well, me, I am at least. Okay.
I watched this movie like a week ago because EliteAri's lazy and doesn't watch things.
That is true. I have been quite busy. I did watch this last night. I watched it in 1 session, unlike Kyle, who watched it in 2 sessions. Crazy.
Oh my god, I did. I've always made fun of EliteAri for watching movies in sessions and how that's not allowed, and that just, how are you going to ever comment on a movie's pacing if you're going to watch it in separate set? My goodness, what a hypocrite, what an idiot, what a illogical young man. And then I was sleepy an hour in, and I should have made a great joke at the beginning about how this movie put me to sleep, EliteAri. That's a genius. I'll write that down for next time.
Excellent.
But yeah, so I think I watched it in actually 3 settings because I got interrupted in my second one the following morning. But All
right, perfect. So Kyle, I'm on the edge of my seat. What do you think of the visuals of this movie?
It's probably a little better than the original show. It's like a movie and stuff.
Perfect. I'm glad. For me, it's much better than the original, okay? Even though I do really like the way the original looks. I think this is probably the best visual anime thing I've ever seen. I love it so much.
He does say that. Oh, EliteAri, pick me. My hands up.
Yes, please go, Kyle, yes.
I since watched your little thingy about when you spoke about it on that one video you did where you went through all your anime. Yeah.
What did I say? Did I say anything controversial?
You just love transformation sequences and
oh my god, yep, it's in my standout moments, true.
That's in my... No, I decided not to put it on my standout moments because I knew you'd put it on your standout moments. Haha. Now,
we're not there yet. All right, overall thoughts. I still have a few to go through. Okay, yep.
I don't think you said anything else. I think you're an idiot. I'm trying to remember, but I forgot.
Yep, well, anyone, you can go back and go to the video. I'll probably link it in the description or something, maybe. I don't know if I remember. Yeah, all the anime I've seen, part 3, basically. But anyway, Kyle, there's 3 things I really like about this movie, okay? So number one, obviously the abstract visuals. Okay, I like it. Everything is really interesting. None of it really makes sense plot wise or anything, which is I think what makes it really cool. It's just like,
oh, EliteAri, I'm interrupting you to retreat to a previous topic because I remembered what I was going to say.
Go ahead. Yes.
Obviously, the fourth Ava rebuild looks way better than this movie. Or
Well,
obviously,
I haven't seen
End of
it, so I have no
Evangelion looks
idea.
way better than this movie.
I do remember really liking the way End of Ava looked. It has been too long. I don't remember enough about it, but this to me is its peak. All right, even from the first scene where you got this like stuffed animal that's obviously like a live action real stuffed animal, and they've composited it in it. It's great. We love it. Anyway, so visuals great.
There's probably other things that look good.
There is, but you know, this is the best that it's ever looked ever, and it ever will. There'll be nothing that'll ever top this. Okay, except for maybe the next movie, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, I watched the trailer.
True. Yep.
I don't remember anything about it though, because it was a week ago.
All right. Good.
So I remember a lot of comments saying, "Finally!"
It is crazy, like, you know. The series and the movie had what, like a 2-year gap or something, or a 1-year gap, and now we're waiting over 10 years for this. Crazy. But it's exciting. Anyway, abstract visuals great, Kyle. The second thing, which you're gonna have no opinion on, I'm sure, it has a great dynamic score. Okay, I think the music of this movie is just as good as the visuals. Okay, there's so many cool songs and motifs, and all the magical girls have their own like song, and it gets mixed so many times. And there's like weird like French kind of music. I don't know how you describe it. It's like this weird like music, and it's cool stuff. I really like the music in this, basically.
Okay, Eric Whiteley, he knows when all the themes are mixed and everything. Like this is Game of Thrones. Or
oh, I guess to say the reason I can recognize these themes for these girls is because I've seen that transformation sequence like I don't know, hundreds of times. Like I've seen it too many times, and they each have their sequence with their music there. So whenever I hear it in the movie now, I'm like, oh my god, it's from that scene I've seen on YouTube like a million times. But anyway, yes, go Kyle.
Too bad the silly transformation sequence is outdone about 2 minutes later, but we'll get into that. Now, EliteAri, what was I saying? Oh, I did notice one time when they each played a song from the original show, and I'm like, I recognize that song. And every time a song did come on, I was waiting for.
Yep.
And it never happened, so I was mad about that. But also, they have like an intro song at some point in the movie that was pretty funny. Like an anime OP, not an ED. And I want to say that I remember thinking, like, in my head, for whatever reason, like, the reoccurring thing from the original show was, like, the second music thing, implying that there were 2 other music things I remembered, but I don't remember them now. So maybe I did notice that the music was good, EliteAri. Fuck you.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad to hear it, Kyle. That might be the first time I've ever
There was something French when you said that just now. I was like, oh, yeah, that was a thing, but I can't hear it in my head, EliteAri. I forgot it all. It's
like this, when Homoda is on the, like, boat kind of thing, and she's, like, going down this river or whatever, and when they're on the bus, like, it just has, I don't know how to describe it, I'm just saying it's French. I don't know what it actually is called, but that's just what it sounds like.
Scene, oh my god, we're not allowed to.
We'll get into that, okay. Anyway, that was the first 2 things, okay.
Obviously, the music would be good too, so.
Perfect.
I believe.
Visuals, music, you know, the last one is about how, and okay, it's like a split. It's like there's some really good story stuff I like, but also I like that some of the story is told through the visuals, and there's not like any literal, they don't say it in the actual dialogue or anything.
Show don't tell, are you saying? You love show don't tell.
But exclusively showing. It's not like they even say anything about it, which is kind of cool. And I don't mean like Arcane, where you've got like Victor and Jace having a parallel suicide attempt or whatever. There's no parallel things. I mean like you're seeing like the ongoing motif of Homoda's hair, for instance, and how like whenever she's like pushing it back, it's like her kind of giving into despair because she's like embracing her new persona, like stuff like that, where I'm like, oh, this is cool. You don't have to say that Homoda is turning in this moment. You just have to show her hair like being free flowing. Because
why don't you say all of my standout moments, you piece of shit?
All right. Sorry, but anyway, those are my 3. Oh no, wait, sorry. Those are my 3 overall thoughts. Now there's one more, which is to say, you know, last time when we were having our discussion, I said that I love Charlotte's witch design. And now we have a character that's called Bebe here or something.
Like, oh, so
my
this is
god,
why you liked it.
It's so
and
great.
Also, you useless piece of shit. That's my other standout moment.
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Okay, go. You know what? Just go ahead. What are your
standout moments? Number 1 here, we have Bebe, the greatest character of all time.
Oh my god, I'm so glad. Yep, true.
She's mumbling little things. Oh, until she turns into a dumb little girl. Who cares about that?
Yeah, I agree, actually, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
She's literally like a character. She must be the main character of this 3rd movie, EliteAri, because by God, she shows up and we're treating her like she's a genius. And like this, oh my God, look, it's the character. Now, Oh, I did recognize her from something. So obviously, I've seen this character around, and maybe she was on the poster or something, or I don't know what the fuck. But
Mm.
if you're like seeing all the marketing and you know there's a new girl, and then she shows up here, I guess that would make sense. But in the context of the movie, she didn't really do shit, except for be Bebe, which is the cutest little cutie thing that you ever seen.
Yep.
Sometimes he's like eyeing up QB, who is being cute for 40 minutes of the movie before he's evil again.
Yep.
But we
Speaking
won't
no
get to that
dialogue,
yet.
crazy, just making Cubase
True.
noises. It's
Just little
cool.
cat noises, like a little cute QB, like he's in a little pool. He's just doing a little swim. I think
Mhm.
that's from the original show too, but you know. Anyway, we were doing a lot of things from the original show, especially at the beginning.
Yep.
Now, yes, Bebe, and the little mouth noises, the words are coming out of its mouth. You know, you got weird subtitles in the corner to do
Yeah.
it. It's just the coolest thing ever. And she's with the greatest magical girl of all time, Mami. Of course, we got to redo our ranking. She's number one now, obviously.
Oh my goodness. True.
And we got to get because obviously EliteAri Homer, you know, dead last now. She's evil, and I hate her.
Oh wow. Is
Now,
this true? Because I was curious. I was on the edge of my seat.
no, but EliteAri, when she's choking poor Bebe at the beginning, I was like, I'm gonna kill this.
I did feel very bad for
Gonna swing
Baby in
some
that moment.
fists.
Yeah.
And then Mammy, the greatest of all time, shows up. Now, I wasn't joking about that. Mammy is the new favorite, but
Awesome.
Homer is just, you know, she's in the middle. Because you remember EliteAri, I hated her last time because she became a little whiny girl. Remember with her dumb flashback episode that sucked.
I do remember that.
And then,
Yeah.
and then at the beginning, she's the dumb flashback girl, and it's okay. And then EliteAri, you get to my third. I'm skipping the second one for now, EliteAri. My third standout moment where she's fucking takes her hair off after they've gone to the bus section, which I don't even have written down, but is obviously the coolest scene in the whole abstract movie. Her and Kyo. Go ahead, EliteAri. Kyoko going down the bus routes, and it's fake and stuff, and that's crazy and stuff.
Yeah.
And it all looks weird, and apparently it sounded really good. EliteAri's telling me, and I vaguely remember.
Has a cool
So, you know,
song.
obviously she takes her hair off and the plot begins, and you're like, oh my god, it's plot time. I've never been more excited in my life. And it was just so sick. But obviously, the second. Oh, wait, were I saying something about that? Oh, I was ranking girls, EliteAri. Well, there you go. One. And so Homer's always been last.
Yes. Not for me, but yeah, true. I guess if we're ranking girls,
God.
I guess for me, I guess the difference is that in this movie we focus way like there's basically no Sayaka or very little Sayaka because it's not really Sayaka here.
Oh, but she has one really cool move. Oh my god, EliteAri, coolest. The first hour of this movie is the greatest movie of all time. Then it's okay. Now, EliteAri, when Sayaka shows up, and now obviously it's a misdirect, and I knew it at the time, EliteAri, I'm not an idiot. When it shows up and it's like maybe it's her fantasy or whatever, and on the puddle in the ground you see her, the coolest. We don't call them angels in this EliteAri, witch form of all time, and it's just in the puddle, and then later she transforms, or maybe even before that she transforms and fights with it. Craziest thing of all time. Sayaka is still number 2, EliteAri. I won't have you saying whatever you were just saying, you idiot.
Oh my gosh. So I just remembered that she has a scene with Kyoko where she like explicitly says about her like, oh my god, the one regret was you or something when I died, and then they hold hands, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Kyle like said this, and I had no idea that this was in this movie.
No, EliteAri. I decided they're not in love. They're just sisters.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, but they have a relationship that's stronger than like nothing, which is to me, I didn't even consider that they had some relationship, but it makes sense.
They were like a parallel. You're so stupid.
You're just
now,
a
EliteAri,
genius,
I want to tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, you know, I just sort of watched the show, EliteAri. You should try it sometime. Got him.
Very fun.
Now, EliteAri, this is completely off topic and unrelated to Madoka Magica. I just, I'm in the car. I put my hand down the ground. I feel something. I pull it up. The biggest clump of hair you've ever seen in your life, EliteAri, and now it's in my hand. It's so weird. I was shocked when I pulled it up initially about 2 minutes ago. But
oh my god, that is a great reference. That's just like when Homura shoots Mummy and she turns into hair, and it was all a part of the trick of that fight. Crazy. Oh my gosh.
Maybe. This is gross, EliteAri. It's so much. Why is this has to be just from recording sessions. Why would I have hair on the floor of the back seat? It's a lot of it, EliteAri. I should take a photo. There's also
no, it's okay.
It's been there forever.
No.
This is the grossest thing I've ever seen. I'm going to put it back down there. Now, number 2 standout moment, EliteAri. Remember we did 1, which is Bebe, and then we skipped to 2, which real Homer is back, and the plot begins. Number 2 is obviously singing.
Which singing? What do you mean?
And then I can't remember the tune. Now I was trying to rewatch it, but then EliteAri said, "I'm ready." So I had to leave, and I couldn't rewatch the rest of the goddamn scene.
Wait, you mean the cake
they're
scene?
sitting around the dinner table, and they're all like singing, and then they go to each girl, and they're like, "Is it your turn to eat, Madoka?"
Yes.
And then he does the little thingy, and that was obviously way better than the transformation scene. It was the greatest scene of all time, and they were singing and eating and being cute.
It is, you know what, Kyle? So my first 2 stand-up moments is a transformation sequence. It's great. And then I said the cake scene where they're singing about the cake or whatever. I agree. It is a fantastic scene. I will talk about this later, I guess, for overall thoughts. It's interesting, this stuff. This beginning stuff of this movie is very interesting.
No, EliteAri, everything's got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Very true. Thank you, Kyle.
That was deep. That's all my standout moments because I've just realized number 4 was just the whole bus sequence. And now, EliteAri, because you interrupted me when I was making my notes, I didn't get to rewatch the rest of the thing to see if I remembered anything great from there. But, the last half of the movie is just Homer doing crazy shit and stuff. So, whatever.
Or maybe you'll hear some of mine and you'll be like, yes, that was great too. Or
and I'll
be like, no, that was terrible.
Exact thoughts in the moment.
Yep. First thing for this transformation sequence, which is great. Despite how many times I've seen it, I've never realized that right at the end when they're all coming down and they're like, they've done their pose and they all arrive and stand and do like a big pose together. The background there is the same background from the opening of the show. It's like the spotted white background with like spots and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is sick. So that was cool.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yep. Well, go have a look at the scene, then go watch the opening from the show and you'll be like, oh my God, it's the same thing.
They say, Majo Shoujo quintuplet or something.
I think they say like Puella Magi Holy Quintet or something. Oh, it's sick.
Oh, probably.
Yep.
Holy.
Yep. Anyway, the cake scene's great. Homura talking with Madoka for the last time when Madoka's braiding her hair. I like that a lot. Where she's talking about
I remember that.
She's like she basically in this moment acknowledges that she understands what Madoka is doing and stuff, and she's sad for her, and it's like her last moment of I guess empathy or like I guess it is empathy in that moment. I don't know.
Before she turns into the fucking devil, bro. Can you believe that?
Exactly. So that was cute. I like that scene a lot. Then we have basically the entire witch Homura sequence inside the labyrinth with like she like chops the head off and she's like marching and she's got like a brain that looks like a flower and there's like all these hundreds of witches that are like charging and that stuff all looks really cool. So I like that a lot.
Chops her head off. Brain looks like a
flower.
She
like slices the top half of her head off and instead of having a brain, because it's like an abstract visual thing in the show obviously, she has like this thing that looks like a flower. Now maybe it's something else that I'm not understanding, but it looks like a flower to me.
So this is when they're fighting witch Homura, which I just remembered happened.
Yes. She like has this cool like I don't know how to describe it. She's wearing like a dress or something.
I'm gonna open Google and Google witch Homura, so I get a rejuvenated visual.
Yep, she has like half a head, which is the cool thing. Okay. Anyway, did you find it? Do you know how to spell Homura?
No, EliteAri. It takes a little while to click on the thingy. Right. Oh my God, there's flowers on her head. I see that, EliteAri. Oh yeah, I remember this image now. This was some weird 3D image that came up first. But yes, this was cool. With a K. Oh, and there's all these little girls with her or something, and they're like weird little cutouts, and they look freaky. I remember now. Yes.
Yep. And the final actual standout moment here is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, Kyle. It's when Bebe transforms, like, and we see the full transformation sequence, and it's like, firstly she like runs and jumps into a blender, and then the blender turns into a real life footage of an actual blender with like a stuffed version of her in real life. And then she blends into a milkshake and pours it into like a template that is like a magical girl template. And she like turns into a magical girl and blows bubbles in the air. Like, this is the sickest thing I've seen in my life.
Is this when she turns into a human?
Yeah, but the time we actually see the transformation. The first time we don't see her, she like just appears as a human and it's like, yo, baby, what the hell? But then toward the end in this final fight with Homura, she has the whole transformation and like blends herself and it's like the funniest, coolest thing ever. She's like, she says something about cheese. She's like, a Parmesan or something. And I'm like, this is great.
She loves cheese.
Oh, that also reminded me when Homura is choking her and she's like, no, please, I'll turn into cheese or something. I'm like, oh, this is so sad. She's going to turn into cheese.
True. Fuck Homura.
Yep, true.
Does Mami mean cheese or something in Japanese? Are we missing a pun here, EliteAri, or does she just like cheese?
I have absolutely no idea. But there certainly has to be something to Mami's name, right? Surely. Like, it's such
Mami Tamaru.
It means something.
That means cheese and cheese.
Yep, fantastic. I guess another thing, Kyle. I would overall thought, I guess, because I watched this in the dub for the first time, which I think was really well done.
Yeah.
I think it's better dubbed than the actual show was. There were no like issues with this one. I was very worried because I like Bebe so much. Obviously, I was worried that they were going to mess up that voice, but to me, it sounded very similar and did a very good job. Like, it didn't sound like an English person speaking.
Does she actually say words when she's like in her form? She does.
You mean when she's a human?
See, in my head, it's just gibberish. No, when she's a little baby.
I don't think she says words. I think we see subtitles, right? Like which are words. I don't know if we can understand what she's saying. Maybe we can. I don't know, but I never realized it.
Oh, you'll watch the dub, you idiot.
Oh, then in the dub, I don't remember any English language. Okay. But maybe she does. I don't. Yeah, maybe I wasn't paying.
like a little Animal
Yeah,
Crossing
I think it's
character.
like pretty. I don't remember any differences between Bebe in the dub and the sub, basically. So even they might have just used the same voice. I have no idea, but it was
That's
very
what they
well
do with
done.
Pikachu, EliteAri. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. That's pretty funny.
Mm.
So yeah. Okay. So Kyle, that's standout moments. Then
So before I forget, EliteAri, this isn't even
yes,
a standout
please.
moment, just a point. But it's very ominous, EliteAri, when you got little Bebe and little Cubey over there, and they're acting cute for the first half of the movie. And you're like,
Mm.
now I'm falling for it, EliteAri, but I'm not falling for it. You see?
Well, I was curious. This will be the next thing, I guess. So what did you think was happening at the beginning of this movie? Obviously, it's a
Well,
bit like
EliteAri
it's confusing,
open, and
right?
it's a weird little alternative thing, and I'm like, oh my god, I've seen so many things with alternative things. Obviously, we're doing a cool alternative thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then we were kind of weren't. It was just like a imagination thingy, witches and stuff, Madoka Magica and stuff, and it's all in Homer's head. But then it started to become whose head is it in? And there's
Yeah.
only really two options. It's either Madoka's, as in like right before she became a god, the last bit of her humanity created this so she could forever be happy or something. When they're
Mm-hmm.
all alive and they get to fight like sort of helpless enemies that don't really have any threat together, and they can be the Pola magical quintuplet or whatever Leary
Yes, the
said.
holy quintet.
Now,
Yes, because there's 5 of them.
shut up. My goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crazy.
Mhm.
But there's 6 babies around, idiot.
Yeah.
Now, or it was Homer's because, she's been the main character of the movie so far. And what if it was actually me the whole time and she didn't remember? Which is what happened, right? She didn't remember. And then once she did remember, she did kind of remember. And then she had a plan.
Yep, pretty much.
Something.
That's my understanding of it.
That's
I guess that
great.
was going to be my question, Kyle. So now that we know this, what you thought about it, what was your takeaway from the plot? Like, what actually was the...
Well, you see, EliteAri, obviously, I did a little bit of delving, and I assume there is, because EliteAri, let me inform the audience, this movie is a bit controversial, apparently. Some people like it, some people don't. EliteAri loved it, so I assumed everybody else hated it. EliteAri loves Cowboy Bebop live action, everybody else hates it. EliteAri likes Mushoku Tensei, everybody else hates it.
It's not true. One of the highest rated anime of all time, but yeah.
For a certain demographic.
Yeah, for men.
Now, true. Sexist it is. That's its biggest flaw. Read my bio. Now, EliteAri. Apparently Mr. R hates it. Isn't that what you keep telling me, EliteAri?
I think he doesn't like the way that Homoda's character goes, I think. I think he said that it was like ruining her character or something. Vaguely. I don't want to speak for him though. It's been a while since I talked.
Now, why didn't you invite him, first of all? But after that, that seems to be why people are complaining, EliteAri. I guess, you're watching this old show, and if you're a weak-willed person, no offense, Mr. R, you're like this dumb bitch Homer. So obviously I don't give a fuck that she was evil. It was kind of cool. She became Satan, and there's like a bunch of Jesus Madoka imagery. That was pretty funny and pretty cool. And then she becomes Satan at the end. She's got her black wings and stuff, and it's just consistently, she doesn't want Madoka to suffer and stuff and become a god thingy. She'll do it. And there's a lot of Bible fan fiction, EliteAri, some interpretations, Satan is actually just a lover boy, and he just loved God so much, and God didn't get it. That's why Griffith is evil. He just loved Guts, and Guts wasn't gay, and fuck Guts,
Right.
And so that's like another Jesus thing, Griffith and stuff. So makes sense to me.
Okay, well, I guess my take on
it
this
was pretty cool. Hold on, EliteAri. I remembered one more thing. After we break out of this, we kind of have a climactic fight against Homer's witch, and you come out, and then Madoka comes down from heaven with her other 2 dead friends. Now, I actually have a point about that afterwards, where I'm going to talk about some things we kind of forgot to talk about last time. But comes down with Bebe, who's in heaven because she's fucking dead, and Sayaka, who's still dead, and she's in heaven because if you remember, well, I guess we're bringing it up now, EliteAri. I couldn't remember who was supposed to be alive and dead, and I couldn't remember if this was like the main timeline we see at the end where Homer and QB are teaming up at the end, because I couldn't remember if Sakura was alive or dead or something, or at the end of the show.
Sure.
I didn't know if we undid all that, and Kyoko and what's her name, EliteAri?
There's so many. Sayaka?
Kyoko?
Yes, Kyoko.
Oh my god, I got it right, EliteAri. How about you pay attention?
Well done.
Now, I didn't remember if she was still dead or something and what was happening with all that stuff. So, maybe we're just in that and they were all just alive somehow or something. We didn't see much of that timeline. Just Homer jumped off with Cube on his shoulder, And so, because we didn't talk much about the last episode, last time, EliteAri. Now, we kind of gave up on the recap before we got there. But if we needed recap, it was probably going to be for that last episode because there was a lot of imagery stuff and implications and stuff that we didn't remember, that we didn't remember to talk about. And in turn, I didn't remember when watching this movie, like an hour after we finished the last recording. So I was like, should have thought about that a little bit. Now, what was my original point that I just diverted into that, EliteAri? It was about Homer or something. Oh my god, EliteAri, shut up, I remember. Now, Homer, they have like a fake climax of the movie. They beat the witch Homer, and it's like, oh my god, she's up, and we break out of the thingy, and it's like, oh, we're gonna get a happy ending now. And then she fucking grabbed that bitch, EliteAri, and said, I'm Satan, you're not a god anymore, bitch. Yep. And then the rest of the movie happened. That was pretty cool.
Yep. Fantastic subversion. It is playing into, oh my god, we're gonna have a happy ending. She's gonna clean her, and it's gonna be great, and my goodness, but no. So, I guess I should say also... End, yeah. I should say at this point that there were a lot of things where I was watching this and I was like, man, either I'm like a genius and I was like picking up all this stuff when I was talking about it with Kyle, or I just remembered this stuff, and when I was analyzing Homeda's character, I was feeding that into my knowledge there. Yeah, I think that's probably more likely what was happening, because to me, this is like a unified vision of Homeda. This all makes perfect sense to me. This is like my whole interpretation, which I was thinking about it when I was watching the original show, which is that she wants Madoka for herself. She wants...
oh yeah, you did say stuff about that, and I recalled it while I was watching. There was two things like that. There was the Bebe thing where I'm like, oh, so this is why EliteAri was bringing up a big deal about the one character before she transforms when she's only in it for 30 seconds, idiot.
Yep.
And then there was something about Homer, and I was like, oh, that's where EliteAri got it from.
Yep. So basically, I think to me it makes perfect sense. I know that I think there's a lot of people who are like, it seems like there's two different Homedas. Like there's the Homeda in the show, and then she like changes for the movie, and the movie like ruined her or something.
Well, there's two different ones in the original show. There's lame, weak one, and cool, strong one.
Yeah, true.
And this felt like a merging of the two a little bit, you know?
Yep. Fantastic. Okay. Well.
So destroyed.
So I guess now I'll give my brief actual recap of what I think happened in this movie. Okay. So firstly, cold open. There's a fight against the Nightmare. They wake up and they go to school, and it's like parallel to the original show.
Kyoko is going to school.
Exactly. And it's like, what? Hitomi's being replaced by Kyoko? Oh my gosh. Because I remember last time you were talking about how, I like the scene where they're like, what do you call it? Like playing with each other when they're walking to school, and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then now they replaced her with Kyoko and Sayaka doing that. Crazy. Then they fight Hitomi's Nightmare. So nightmares in this thing instead of wraiths, instead of witches, crazy.
Yes, and EliteAri at the end of the last one, they were talking about wraiths. So I was faced with a problem, EliteAri. Were the subtitles wrong? And both these words mean very similar things in Japanese, so they could be translated each way, or are we doing something different? I found out the answer eventually.
I was very glad that last time in our discussion you pointed out that they were saying wraiths, because I don't think I would have remembered the wording if you didn't say
it.
So,
from Lord of the Rings. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done, Kyle. So they fight Hitomi's Nightmare, and then Kyoko and Homeda have a conversation about reality, and then they take the bus ride, and there's the whole bus ride scene, which to
oh my
me...
god, EliteAri, this was the coolest scene of all time, first of all. We're not even up to the bus. Yeah. We're just having a picnic or something at a table, so it's not a picnic, EliteAri, you idiot. Yep. And we're just sipping tea and talking about the thingy, and the way they played the character interactions off was perfect, because it wasn't like you've seen this scene in movies sometimes where the one character's out of time. Maybe even Okabe Rintaro does this, and Steins Gate is terrible and not good like Mushoku Tensei. True. What was that, EliteAri? Yep. Like, what do you call this show, EliteAri?
Madoka
Magica. Yes. They had a good little interaction. She wasn't like, bitch, you crazy. I'm not going to help you. Ignored. And then we don't do anything about this plot point. She was like, this would be a weird thing to fuck with me about, bitch. Yeah, I love it. So I'm going to believe you. And I thought that was very good, very smart, big brained. Now, also... there was something else about this scene.
Well, there's the whole abstract like balloons and this clown-like thing that's like churning a music box, and there's like witches that are watching it, and it's like, this is weird. Like, it's so
and
cool.
I think we do even here get the shots of like people who aren't characters having their like faces blurred out and stuff.
Yeah, the watercolor faces. City. Yeah.
And we did, I feel like I must have brought this up last time and made the Ava comparison, where it's like sometimes in Ava it feels like the city they live in is like fake.
Yep.
And obviously that was very much the case here, but it's kind of felt that way a little bit in the previous show, so it was like tying into that, and it's like, are you just making this more explicit, or something different going on here? My goodness. Also, there's that sick scene in one of the rebuilds where like the fucking city is actually like a diorama, and it plays into that. And EliteAri, you got to watch those films.
I should, but I haven't. I guess about this bus scene. I remember this is like probably the most memorable thing from my previous watches, where I was like, oh, I remember this bus scene. It was like weird and like a fever dream or something. I remember that.
We being on buses, EliteAri, it's weird and stuff. Sometimes you
Yep,
think you're getting lost, and you're like, man, where am I?
yep.
This is a fake
But the
place.
bus driver always
What's going
knows
on?
what's best.
Except he didn't in this scene because he wasn't speaking because he was a little
Yep.
abstract little man.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that I couldn't believe how early this happened in the movie. I thought this was like we're gonna have like half the movie is gonna be before all the abstract stuff happens, and then it'll like have because I remember this bus scene was where the abstractness first came into it. But no, it happened way earlier. So the pacing of this movie to me felt very quick, which I liked.
The first hour, I think that I wasn't joking, EliteAri. It's very good. The last half is whatever. Now, all this stuff is moving fast. But EliteAri, I would like to interrupt everybody to say that I just got a scam text message that says it's my last time to claim my top up 100. Should I click on it?
No, definitely not. But thank
Oh
you
my
for
god, it's a
pointing that out.
YouTube link. It can't possibly be bad.
Okay, true. You guys are listening to a YouTube video right now. Isn't that crazy? The meta going on here. Anyway.
True.
So yeah, they take.
There
the
was
bus
something
ride.
else about this sipping tea scene, EliteAri. Stop
There.
hitting your microphone. You'll have to disconnect and reconnect.
Yep.
Now,
the music starts here. I think this is probably. I think the music that I'm saying is so cool probably is from that guy that's like churning the music box.
I guess maybe is this the first time we get any instance of like, oh, it's something's wrong and Homer knows it or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. There was something cool about this scene.
Like the order is that I think they go on the hill, like which I'll talk about, the green hill. After they fight Hitomi's nightmare thing, and then they like Homura when she's looking at the city, everyone's happy, but she like kind of gets upset a bit. She's like a bit sad looking at the distance, and I think in that moment she kind of realizes something's off, and then she has this scene here on this, in this park, I guess, with Kyoko. But yeah, this is like the first one where you're like, I think something's off with this world here.
Because initially up until that point, obviously you realize something like they shouldn't all be alive, EliteAri. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Now, I think because I guess this is my only big point. I guess we're doing it now, EliteAri. So shove it. Now, there's this thing, EliteAri. You ever heard of a show called Neon Genesis Evangelion? Oh my god,
I have. Yeah, I've seen it.
At the end of Neon Genesis Evangelion, you know, we have a little bit of an abstract moment with poor Shinji for about 2 episodes. Ends the show. Crazy. Episodes 25 and 26. Isn't that insanity? Now, in this, there's a little scene where Ava is basically reimagined as like a slice of life show. And like Asuka wakes Shinji up for school and they run downstairs and they're in a little apartment and Gendo and Yui are there making toast and Gendo's. And the point is that all the character archetypes are like so strong that they all like fit into this completely different context, and all the character relationships are still kind of the same. When it's not hyper dramatic, we're fighting angels, we're trying to kill each other, I'm choking Oscar on a beach. They're just little childhood friends or something going to school, and they run down the hill and they run into Rei. And Rei's a little bit different. She's like a quirky girl or something, and it's wacky, and it's there's a little bit of difference, but like, oh my god, it still feels like the characters. I feel like this, we do that in abstracting stories. There's another example besides fucking Neon Genesis Evangelion, but I'm forgetting it right now, EliteAri, so fuck you. But it felt like at the beginning of this movie we were doing something like that, you know? We got our 5 girls, they've all got very specific character archetypes, and they all work, and they all play off each other very well. It's very fun to watch, and then we're doing this. And even then, even though they are slightly off, like, oh, this seems like it happens after the series, like they're all friends, like they would only be after the series, but they can't all be like that because they're fucking dead or whatever. So it's sort of like controlling for their previous relationship, so nothing feels like contradictory. It almost just feels like it's building off of it. But also there's this element of that it's fake, and there's also this element that like, what's happening now? Homer and Kyoko are talking to each other, but they're not like enemies and being mysterious about the plot. This is crazy. Now, this brings me to another criticism I saw. I did watch that Digibro video, EliteAri. Now, I've been looking at Homer pictures, this whole thingy, because I had to Google at one point, so I better go back to my notes to remember this. And my big note here is everybody is friends and fighting together, and it's pretty cool. And then I have fan service argument, EliteAri. Now, this is another big criticism, that this movie is just fan service, EliteAri, especially the first half. Only the good one. See, you know, the only reason Mommy and Homer fight is because they teased that they were going to fight in the beginning of the show, and wouldn't everybody like to see them fight? Dumb fan service, idiots.
All right, who cares about this argument? I don't care about this at all.
Shut up, EliteAri. We're getting to it. Also, fight was pretty okay. You know, I don't know, pretty cool.
I had the bullets that were splitting reality and like having a nice like. The more bullets you fire, the more like different mirror things.
EliteAri, we can argue about this in a second. I'm going to lose my train of thought. Okay, we're going to get back to the fight. I promise, EliteAri. I pinky promise. Now, musical components to fighting nightmares. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Seeing every character again. That has something to do about something. Well, anyway, Leary, back to this Ava comparison thingy. I remember always watching an old Digibro video, and he always talked about how that part of the last episode of Ava was like the show making fun of other shows and being like, "This is what Ava
Ooh,
would be like if it was a shit show." Of like,
interesting.
oh, they're
That's my
they're
first
going to
point here.
school, and it's a slice of life thing. No, it isn't.
I'll say it after you're done. Go ahead. Yeah.
Now, I always that Digibro talking point always rubbed me the wrong way. Because I was always like, no, I actually really like that sequence, and I kind of do want to watch that show where they're just dumb idiots in high school. And I very much feel like my counter argument to why I actually like the first bit of this and them all just hanging out and like is because EliteAri, ideas are lame, themes are lame, plot is lame, but character interactions are good. EliteAri.
I sometimes agree. It depends. It's not that clear cut, but yeah, sometimes it can be great character interactions. That's why slice of life shows
Because
are
a
so
lot of
great.
the fan service, because this goes into the fan service thing, Lyra, because fan service is just, I don't know, fan service, things that the fans want, and we'll just shove it down there because there's no point in the plot, there's no ideas being explored here, this is just for the fans to jerk off about. And there's some sort of superiority, EliteAri, to being against that. Fan service. These lightsaber fights, EliteAri, just fan service. That's why Acolyte is bad.
Well, I don't care about fan service because it's like you have to understand the
I
intent
know you don't
behind
care,
it, right?
EliteAri, but everybody else cares because EliteAri.
Well, I think they're dumb.
Because I was watching this. Shut up, EliteAri. This isn't about being dumb or smart. Now, EliteAri, I was watching again the Digibro video I sent you, and at the end he has about 3 minutes shitting on the movie at the end where he's like, "What a clusterfuck movie! Terrible, terrible, terrible. Homer, I don't even care. Mommy, fight, dumb." These at the beginning, it feels like a weird out of character OVA, and all the girls are just together. Lame, lame, is what they say. And at first, EliteAri, I was like, stupid, and then I started to buy into it. Oh my god, that them all just hanging out, fight that I didn't fancy.
I think your internet is cutting out or something.
Now, EliteAri, I was calling everything in the first half of the movie fan service. Did you get to do? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that bit. Yep.
And I started to buy into the Digibro talking point of EliteAri.
Okay.
Why did I do that?
I don't know. I thought you were going somewhere with this. You want me to hypothesize what you thought about it?
Yeah,
no
this
idea.
is the problem, everybody. We always make fun of EliteAri. He has these little moments where he pretends that everybody's opinion is doesn't exist because he just lives in his EliteAri world where he's thought things out and he doesn't have baggage from internet talking points from 10 years ago that are all retarded, that have infested all of our brains, chat. And we all must adhere to these old principles that we just cannot get rid of fully. And this fan service moment was part of my moment, EliteAri, and you're not equipped to have this conversation.
So I guess my interpretation of the opening act of this is the way I wrote it in my notes. I said there's a satirical presentation, the satirical presentation of the opening act. Because there is something off in this world, and it's very clear because the tone of this original first act is very different from the rest of the show. Things are exaggerated. You have the transformation sequence that goes for 3 minutes. You have all the girls there that are happy and having their relationships all together. You have the cake song that doesn't make any sense and is like a bit absurdist and doesn't fit in line with the rest of the show. Then you have the actual when the fight is done with the nightmare, with hits him his nightmare, you have Madoka and Homura and they do this cute pose and QB jumps in and says his like QB catchphrase. It's like this is obviously the opening act of this story is satirical and it's meant to point out that something is off with the story. I don't think it's meant to be fan service in any way. I mean, you can read it as well. You couldn't read it as fan service because it'd have to be the intention behind it would not have to be this, but I guess you could say that I didn't like it because it was too satirical or it was too like I don't even know what you wouldn't like about this that isn't fan service. I don't know. It just, that doesn't bother me at all because I think it's more interesting this way because it is a satirical presentation. But yeah.
Now,
anyway,
there are two aspects I think I'm trying to speak on here. The first part is that obviously that intro bit is the best part of all of Madoka Magica, and I want to watch that show more than I want to watch Madoka Magica. So that is supposed to be a self-deprecating point, EliteAri. You're supposed to point at me and laugh because Madoka Magica is good because it's subversive and dark, bro, and people are fucking dying and all crazy and shit. But that's lame, EliteAri. This is what you got to realize. Dumb shit like that is lame. Story lame.
Give us more cake song scenes, all right?
I just want the cute girls to fight the weird thingies while it looks pretty and have little cute interactions, all right? Maybe they get a boyfriend, Maybe they get a girlfriend, EliteAri. Maybe
one of them did have a boyfriend in this.
Which one?
The one with the nightmare, who the whole nightmare happened because she was like...
Well, yeah, she's not a main girl. She stole Sakura's boy.
She is one of like 7 characters in this show, though. But yeah.
True. And they made sure to put her in because of fan service, EliteAri. Now.
True. Not true, by the way, if anyone listening. But
so my first point is that I'm not actually the idiot. You guys are the idiots for liking all the stupid fluff about themes and gods and darkness. I just like my slice of life magical girl shows. That's why I like so many of them, EliteAri.
Right, yeah.
Now, the second point is that I was almost won over by this fan service point, and I am having an existential moment, and it's a little funny.
Mm-hmm. Well done,
Now that we're
Kyle,
all on the
that's
same
great.
page, we can move on.
Okay, so the next plot thing, okay? Oh, no, we'll point it out later. So then we have the fighting mummy scene, which you said was also fan service potential. I don't know, I thought it was really great. Yeah, because it's like this is when
good. I needed to rewatch it, but you cut me off and said we're recording now, pussy. Now they shot guns at each other. It was cool, and obviously, Mami is now the greatest character, and that's because she swooped in and she saved him. Now, Homer doing this thing was also cool because it's playing on the dramatic irony tension of something's not right here, and we're all very invested.
Yep.
Very cool.
And she tries to shoot herself to fake out Mommy, and it was great, and it severed her.
True, and she didn't fall for it, or she did. I don't remember, but it was pretty cool anyway.
Yep.
Now, Mami is just so on top of her shit in this movie, EliteAri. She doesn't need any friends. Like, remember when she cried before she died? That was lame.
Well, she has Bebe here, so...
True, EliteAri. You're so smart. Now... she's so cool. She's just getting dressed and she's like, I'm the leader of this group. If you two don't stop being silly, you're going to get hurt. And I'm just here and I'm the leader. And then she showed up to save the day here just like a true leader. And then she beat up this Homer girl who's supposed to be the strongest girl easy because she's the coolest and the strongest. And if she's my favorite, she better be the strongest. Just like Revy in Black Lagoon could totally beat up Roberta, you fucking idiot.
Sure.
But actually, Etta could beat her up because of the suitcase scene, remember?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just blocked like the suitcase. Like I gestured it.
Thank you, Kyle. What do I say about this?
So it must have been good because Mami is good.
I think this is because, okay, when it comes to, for instance, anyone listening right now, I recently watched Black Lagoon, and one of the issues I have with Black Lagoon is that early on, a lot of the fights involve people shooting guns.
Oh, I did think about this.
And no one getting hurt.
Oh,
and then
likes this gunfight.
Yep, and they're like, bang, 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 and they're just shooting guns, and we're meant to like it because it's meant to look cool or something, and guns are cool, and oh my gosh, it's great. Now, I never liked that at all in Black Lagoon, okay? Until the end, because when we got some really good fights with Roberta and stuff, but the gunfights in Black Lagoon are boring. Now, this is that, but even further exaggerated, where literally all they're doing is two people shooting guns at each other for a very long time, much longer than any fight scene in Black Lagoon. But the thing is, it's much cooler because the bullets are frozen in time and they're like blocking each other, and every time a bullet shoots, it creates a new like pattern in the air that's like going to actually be lasting for the whole fight. And basically, this fight is carried by the visuals, and I think it's great. And then obviously also at the end of this, I just like the overall dynamic of the fight, where at the end, like what Kyle said, you think that Homura is outsmarting Mummy here and she's won or whatever. And then you get the reveal that this whole time Mummy has been in control. And even because you think that in this moment, oh my gosh, Homura has frozen Mummy and she's going to shoot her in the head. Oh my God, she's evil. But then she like lowers her gun and it's like, oh, okay. So at least she's just going to shoot her leg and we know what's going to happen. She's going to be out of the fight, whatever. Then she shoots and like she turns into hair and it's like, what's going on here? Was that ever Mummy? Is Mummy real? And then you find out Mummy was in control the whole time. It's like, oh my gosh. And it was great. I like the dynamic of this fight as well. So it's carried by the visuals and the dynamic basically. But yeah, anyway, good fight.
And then
not a standout moment. Okay, true, yeah. Her and Sayaka save Homura in this fight. Cool.
How does it end? I don't remember.
Well, they throw like a fire extinguisher and it explodes. And then that distracts Mummy and Homura gets the hell out of there and talks to Sayaka.
Because Sayaka's in an alley and then she looks down and she sees the witch form and I swayed.
Yep. So that's the next thing here. I said chatting with Sayaka about witches. True, because she remembers witches. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And she shouldn't. My goodness.
Yep. All right. Which
Did we talk about the bus scene yet?
We're getting there. So now
we've gone this way and then we've gone that way. Oh wait, that is next.
I was
making a joke like it was before.
Did I actually? I think I. Oh no, we talked about the bus scene already. Now we have the second bus scene, which is Homura leaves her soul gem behind and destroys the world. So basically, she leaves her soul gem and is like, I can only travel 100 meters away. And then she goes on another bus and everything, all the flaming like I don't even know what you'd call them, airships or something, are crashing down, and the whole world is turning to flames, and it's great. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I
didn't think I realized that those two things were connected. You know.
What two things?
That she left her soul gem behind and that's why it happened or something?
Okay. I don't know. Maybe it was just like a bit of dialogue. Maybe it wasn't emphasized that much. I don't know. Anyway, the incubator. Oh, then we get the incubator reveals its experiments. So this is the big, one of the first, or the first plot twist, I guess, really, which is that, oh my gosh, the incubators, they found out that Homura's soul gem was tainted, and then they captured her and put her in a stasis field, and nothing can enter or leave. Yeah, there was a lot of incubators, which we also, I didn't want to say this in the TV show because I didn't know if it was confirmed or not. But they are a hive mind, obviously. There's only one voice that we ever hear.
What?
That's my interpretation because we get so many bodies, but they all speak with the same mind and same voice, right?
I thought that was just trippy stuff, but I don't know.
Oh, maybe. I guess it could be. It could be some abstract thing. I interpreted it as though there is one incubator, and it is just the hive mind of all of these different beings that they're controlling puppets.
That makes sense because remember when she shot QB in the original show? QB just showed up
Yeah,
and was like, I got like plenty of bodies, bro.
Yep. So that's how I interpreted this, which I think is a really cool concept. Like you would, if you were in control of the entire universe and guiding it this way, you probably would be some higher intelligence, like this hive mind. I don't know. It's pretty cool. But yeah, we have they captured her, put her in a stasis field. Nothing can enter or leave, and only things that Homura invites in can come in. And I think that's only the case because the incubators allow it to be the case. So they are truly in control of this situation.
Because they're also trying to figure out what's going on with this Madoka bitch.
Yeah, so this is very interesting. I guess we'll talk about it maybe now. So the law of cycles, Madoka, she enters to save Homura at the end of her life. But when she enters, Homura influences her and causes her to forget why she was ever there. So all this stuff I really like, and I think it's really good sci-fi stuff. The fact that there is like some controlling entity that is all-knowing and what I like about this is how inevitable it feels that eventually the incubator will always find a way to bring witches back to the world.
To be a bad guy.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because it undermines Madoka's sacrifice, or it like makes it feel less important. Because they did say like the fact that they captured Homura and were able to experiment on her, they didn't say it was necessary. They said that all they did was speed up our like experiments. Eventually, we would have conquered this law of cycles and we would control it and understand it. I think it's really interesting just to devalue the protagonist sacrifice in the first series in that way. But yeah, go ahead.
I think you're wrong, EliteAri.
Okay.
Because in the end, they did win, and Madoka came down to celebrate the victory. So I think Madoka would always beat these dumb Cubes. They're dumb. But what really fucked it up was when Homura decided to fuck up Madoka. And now they're not going to always win because she's not in heaven to save them all.
I guess we'll see in the next movie. I feel like the incubator is not completely out of commission yet. And also, when they broke out of the place, implicitly you're meant to take away that they beat the incubator and it looks like they're on their planet or something where Homura was kept and they're killing all these incubators around the world. I don't think that, at least to me, I didn't take it as though the incubators were all destroyed in that moment. I think the clearer moment of that is probably when Homura does transform and we're seeing all those like kaleidoscopic images of all the incubators. Maybe in that moment she could be erasing them or making them into a singular entity or something in the world, because we only see one at the post-credit scene. But I didn't take that as though they're just destroying every single one.
I don't think they destroyed every single one. I don't think they would ever destroy him, EliteAri, because, Madoka's a good girl. And I think it's just that every time they come up with a plan, Madoka's going to be there to thwart it. Through hope.
Maybe. I can see that interpretation
she can't
as well.
now because we got an evil girl there.
Yeah.
But maybe Homer is going to try and wipe him out, and then Madoka's going to be like, no, you can't do that. They're just a cute little cat.
Yeah, because I guess there is the whole element of the incubator comes to a conclusion that we can't control these things because emotions are too irrational and there's no way to control them. In the end, they will always win because they have the emotions we can't control. So I guess that probably is a better interpretation. I do like that.
You just can't control emotions, EliteAri. You just gotta let it out.
Yep.
Me too, hashtag. Now, actually, no, that means rape, EliteAri. Now, EliteAri, I didn't just watch some Digibro videos. I also watched Craftsdwarf and What the What on their great EWB. I can't remember what that stands for, EliteAri. But anyway, they review videos, EliteAri, bad videos. One day they'll get one of your videos, except this show doesn't exist anymore, EliteAri. And they were reviewing a Madoka video by a lady, and she was saying some bad things or something. Now, I only got 20 minutes into this. But they hinted, they preemptively. What do you say, EliteAri? Is something?
Is that okay? Yeah.
Oh, shut up, EliteAri. Now, where was I up to? They're watching this video, EliteAri, and they sort of preempted what they thought she was going to say in this video, where they were like, "Oh, this is probably going to be some of the thematic critique," because apparently there are some critiques of Madoka, the original show, about how it glorifies suicide. EliteAri, did you know that?
I don't know anything about it, but okay. Even
because
if it did,
Madoka
I don't care.
becomes a god by killing herself at the end, and that's bad. So what? This show's bad because its theme is bad because it's about suicide being good, and obviously the movie is like the opposite, where Homer suicides herself to become a god or something. Now, the Craftsdorf
I
and
don't
what
know
the
about
what was
that.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
See, so the theme's not going to be suicide good idiot. You have to wait for the third movie where the real
What?
resolution
Oh
comes in.
my goodness.
You
I
know? So
okay. Thanks, Kyle.
now
Okay.
everybody, EliteAri's groaning because he hates morality,
I know.
especially
You
in
know
a
what I hate?
story.
Yeah, I hate when people are like the story's bad because it says suicide good. I don't care. Even if that was the message of rebellion or whatever, I would not care at all. I think it's kind of
See, what you
interesting.
got to do, EliteAri, is you got to watch Mad Men, where the theme is explicitly to be selfish because nothing else matters.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Now, you can also watch The Sopranos for that message, or perhaps even Boardwalk Empire for that, EliteAri. They're a
Mm-hmm.
little. We'll watch them all one day, EliteAri. Now, the point is, there's a third movie, EliteAri, and what's thematically going on? And do you think, because becoming a god isn't suicide, what are these people talking about? Now, also, I guess the theme could be about sacrifice being good or bad, but it seems
Well,
to me, right, that at the end, Miss Homer is like, her main goal is to save Madoka. And she'll become a devil to save that one girl. She'll doom the world to save that one girl. And it's true love.
okay. Okay. I had a few things to say. Firstly, I think my overall take is still, and I don't remember if you were able to convince me out of this or not, is the whole selfish selfless this thing where it's like you got two sides of the same coin. Madoka is sacrificing herself to save the world, and Homura is sacrificing the world to save Madoka. And I think that's kind of
And herself.
well, yeah, well, kind of. I think that she would
Kind of.
happily kill herself to allow Madoka to live a good life. I think she'd be okay with that, because that was kind of what she was doing for the Walpurgisnacht thing, right? Like she was happy, and then Madoka like kind of saved her instead of letting them die together. So I think she'd be okay with it. I do think that it's a very selfish message. At least for Homura's character here at the end, which is one of the great appeals of this. Like one of my major notes is about. I guess we can talk about the major note here. Let me scroll down. Where is it? Homura ruining Madoka's wish is a viscerally upsetting scene. I guess that's me because we get the scene at the end where we're skipping a little bit forward, I guess, where she grabs Madoka's hands and Madoka's like, "Homura, don't! You'll rip me apart." And to me, this is viscerally like I felt like, oh my gosh, this is gross and I hate this. Because it is, she's stealing. Madoka obviously has this dream that she was kind of building up the whole show, and she didn't really know what she wanted, and she wanted to find a purpose in life, and she just wants to be a good person who helps others. And she achieves that in the end of the dream, in the end of the series. And here Homura is ruining it. She's like taking this dream from this kind, innocent girl who just wanted to save all the magical girls. It's a very selfish thing, and it's a very just upsetting thing to just take it from this innocent person. The interesting thing, I guess, is also that she's willingly doing it too. Like she understands that Madoka doesn't want this because she had that scene early on when they were talking on the green hill or whatever. And Madoka, I have a quote here. She said, "I want you to know that when the time comes and you have to make the hard decision, you will have the courage to make it. One day you'll find out that there are things that only you can do, and then you'll know just how strong and kind you really are." So it's like she does understand Madoka in this moment, that she is strong and kind and she wants to do the right thing, but she wants to take Madoka for herself. This is my takeaway of Homura's character at the end. And
well, of course, this Homer bitch is selfish. I thought we were talking about Madoka.
Oh, Madoka. No, well, this is a completely separate thing. I don't think Madoka is much of a character in this. Like, I don't think there is much of her. I think Madoka is more of the series thing, like the actual show. I think this is more Homura's
you
movie,
thought that about her in the show, right?
Well, my interpretation of Madoka would be that she is, well, I don't know. This is complicated because you could frame it as though this.
Yubi even brings up one time, he's like, you only want to help people, so maybe it's her mother, so they'll like you. And would you really be willing to make your friend hate you to help her out? Which is kind of what Homer did. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, sure. That ties in with this. There's two things. One, you could frame the entire series to be about Homura instead of Madoka, which in that case you would frame it as though from Homura's perspective, Madoka is being very selfish. Theory. Well, Madoka is being selfish because she wants to sacrifice herself. And that's a bad thing to Homura, right? Homura doesn't want that because why would you be selfless when you can have yourself or whatever, or be selfish or whatever? Why would you be, you know what I mean? Okay. Then if you don't have that interpretation, you want to treat Madoka as her own character, then I don't know. Then it gets kind of boring, and it's like from her perspective, yeah, she just wants to save people, and it's like, oh, makes sense.
But she doesn't, EliteAri. She's selfishness, whatever you keep saying.
Yeah, but that's from other people's perspective. From her perspective, she doesn't care about like there's a greater good to be done. She is like the incubator in that way, I guess. I don't know. I'd have to think more about it.
It's like that thing I talked about in one Attack on Titan video, EliteAri, where I'm like dying privilege or deathbed privilege. On your deathbed, you can say a bunch of ominous, cool things, but you know you only get to say that because you're about to die. And that's like a Madoka. She's like, you won't care about me when I'm dead. I'm just doing good things right now. But actually, the pain she's causing poor Homura is not a good thing.
Yep, true. But then there are so many other girls whose pain she's taking away.
True, this Homura bitch better get over it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. But that's it. That's Homura. Great. We love her. We hate her. She has her hair.
What an evil bitch. She was choking baby.
Oh, then I have just one other thing about Homura here. I said there's probably something to be said about how you can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. Because Homura in this moment, she rejects Madoka. And because she doesn't want to be saved here, she like kind of undoes the law of cycles. It's kind of interesting. I don't know.
You love J. Cole, EliteAri, the great rapper?
Did I say that or something?
Ask why, EliteAri, so I can elaborate.
Expand,
I know you don't get it,
yes.
you idiot. You know, that famous song he has. Also, J. Cole sucks, EliteAri. Part of the context of this joke is, I don't like J. Cole. When he made that famous song, Can't Save Her, She Don't Want to Be Saved.
I recognize that.
But he's talking about them hoes, EliteAri, because he's a rapper.
Thank you, Kyle. All right. So let's continue on. So
you did kind of say it exactly how he says it in the song, by the way. So
that's great. I'll edit it in. I'm not going to edit it in. Okay, we have three more.
Claimed out the ass, EliteAri. That's his most popular song.
We'd probably get more copyright claimed if we put any Madoka music in this.
Yes, I know. EliteAri's traumatized because one time he tried to put a Madoka thing.
One time, I tried 3 different songs. You know that thing you talked about, the every anime
video,
I've seen?
EliteAri, maybe about House of the Dragon. I'm going to put Madoka Magica songs in there, and it's going to get through, and you're going to be
If
so
it does,
mad.
I will be mad. Yeah. Anyway, so Homura, back to the plot summary here. Homura turns into a witch within her labyrinth in the hopes that her friends will kill her here instead of Madoka remembering who she is and saving her in reality, and hence being controlled by the incubator. So I guess her plot initially was, let me die here so that I don't become a witch, so Madoka doesn't get controlled by the incubators, basically.
So hold on, EliteAri, question.
Please, go ahead.
So did she have the plan to touch Madoka the whole time? Was this all an elaborate scheme to just get her to come down? Or was her plan developing over time, like you're saying?
I have no idea. I haven't read stuff. People probably know this way better than I do. I guess my take is that she changed her plan when she realized that she could do this, I guess, when she was free.
But isn't it cool if she's big, giant Machiavelli?
Yeah, I think it's cool either way. I don't really have a strong take on it. Either she saw the opportunity and she took it, which I think is cool, or she was planning this all along, which I think is also cool.
Homura can't be cool. This has to be wrong. Except when she took down her hair and became evil Madoka again. I keep saying Madoka, EliteAri, it's funny, but it's Homura, and I know it's Madoka, okay? So everybody shut up.
True.
Everybody shut up.
Kyle, I'm so impressed by the dub, by the way. They don't say Madoka, they say Madoka. And I'm like, thank God. Look at this. A great dub who pronounces the name correctly.
It's like when Sasuke Uchiha's dub voice actor is always trying to say cool things in like a Japanese style, but he's the only actor that does it, so it's funny.
Yep. Well, in this show, everyone says Madoka, so we love it. Okay, so instead, they free Homura by destroying the stasis field. And then Madoka is about to use the law of cycles on Homura, but Homura grabs her and splits off a piece of herself for herself, rewriting the universe using her love. So yeah, and then the whole universe is new, and she's like Satan or something, and they're at school and there's a parallel scene, and she realizes Madoka can remember stuff, and they're probably gonna have to fight one day, and post-credit scene with Kyubey and Homura's dancing. She jumps off a cliff or something crazy. So yeah, it's the plot.
I vaguely remember. Oh yeah, she's on the edge of the cliff, and the cliff is like very cut off.
Yep. And there's like a malnourished.
I did think EliteAri. I was like, there's going to be a post-credit scene here, and I was right.
Yep, you're a genius, Kyle. I actually don't think I've ever watched that post-credit scene, or at least I didn't remember it. So yep.
See, EliteAri, if you had the great principled viewing experience that I always have, where I watch the credits every time, you'd never have missed such a thing. I mean, at least scroll to the end and see it.
I do, yeah.
No, you didn't. This is the first time you've seen it.
Well, the issue was last time I was watching it on a TV, so there's no, like, you can't just hover, you just gotta wait it out.
What if somebody walks in on you while you're watching Madoka Magica? You can't be watching this on
Well, I was watching it with my roommate back in the day. That was my second watch.
My goodness. Yep. Depravity from all sides of this household.
Anyway, so now I guess we've covered some of my notes already. I have major notes here, unless there's any other things you want to say before major notes.
Well, yeah, I got some miscellaneous fucking notes.
Please, you can start, Kyle, if you want.
Well, under this section of the other things we forgot to talk about, I don't think we brought up that this show loves to do silhouette shots, and that happens in the original show a whole bunch.
My goodness,
and
it's great.
Didn't say it at all.
Yep. I think the coolest one, Kyle, was when Not the coolest, but a really cool one is when the head Hitsumi's head is like floating away with the silhouette of the Kyosuke violin guy. It's like, it's sick. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
I don't remember that at all, Leary, but I believe you.
Thank you.
Now, I just got to rewatch this movie to see all the great visuals, Leary.
Oh, we have a list of them here. Do you want me to just read through them?
Sure.
Okay, so interesting visuals to point out. Number one, people unimportant to Homura with watercolor faces. True.
True, I said that already.
Yep. Soul gems are in their lunchbox, and then Kyubey eats it. That was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, they were just throwing things. They did have an eating scene when they're all hanging out at school.
Yep.
See, we should be watching that show, Leary. It's way cooler than this show.
Well, there is the side story, Madoka side story or whatever, which I haven't seen, but apparently that's more.
No,
actually, I don't know if it's more
one
slice
in
of
a
life.
show. I can't be watching high school Attack on Titan, Leary.
No, it's its own thing. It's like a series that's ongoing, I think. Still, I don't know much about it, so I don't want to comment on it. But
I know in the Digibro video, I was told about the 16 spin-offs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I need to take Bacon's advice, Leary. This is a growing story here. It's going to happen one day. I just got to watch an actual slice of life anime, and then I'll just be happy.
Yep.
No fighting. Sounds
right.
great.
Then we have
boyfriends everywhere.
What about the great fight with... Oh, we're not going to... Okay, let's keep going. So, the picnic with Homura and Kyoko with the ominous insert shots of the balloons piling up. I saw the balloon scene with the clown that's cranking the music box with the witches. True. The bus ride to the city. The world gets increasingly abstract as they go. There's weird bridges that they're like parallaxing with like 3D camera movement and stuff. There's red skies, holographic ground, the people without faces. There's floating street lamps. There's a giant arched bridge that they're standing on.
Into the city, yep.
Yeah, and there's people with weird cardboard cutout faces of Kyoko and Homura. Sick.
So what's parallax mean, Leary?
It's like when you got something in the foreground and the background, and when you move your head around it, it's like that they kind of move around. Like there's like depth to the movement, I think. So it's like imagine you have a bridge and then you have another bridge behind it.
I thought it was like a shape.
I don't think so.
I think it's a parallelogram.
No, that would be a parallelogram, Kyle. Oh. So yeah, anyway. Homura dropping her phone on the bus and it falls down like a feather.
Something incredible just happened. You see? I was trying to make fun of you because I thought you were talking about a shape and I was going to go, math's lame, EliteAri, you're a loser for knowing it. But it was actually a film technique and now I'm actually hurt. I don't know if it is a film technique, but okay, cool. Does that double hurt you now that I insulted your knowledge about film techniques? Okay, yo. Homura, she drops her phone, it's like a feather, Kyle. Did you notice that? That was sick. Drops her phone and it was like...
Yeah, she's like getting on the bus to like, before the world falls apart, and she like has her phone and she's calling Kyoko or something and is like, do you remember Madoka? And she's like, yeah, no, I don't, I kind of remember her. And then she like drops the phone and hangs up and looks up at the sky and the feather like, or the phone falls like a feather and it's cool.
No, I do not remember.
Perfect. Next up, we got Homura does her looking up thing a lot, where she looks up in despair. I pointed this out now at like TV series.
And then over her shoulder a little bit.
Over her shoulder? What does that even mean?
She looks up and over her shoulder. Is that what we're talking about?
She looks up and over her shoulder. I don't know what the shoulder has to do with it. Maybe, and I'm just not remembering. To me, it's like whenever there was 3 moments in the original, when Mommy's about to die, when Sayaka or Kyoko, when one of them is about to die, and then toward the end with Madoka, I think. Or no, right at the beginning with Madoka. She like would do this look upwards when it seemed like all hope was lost and she's about to like turn into her old form, and like, yeah. So there's this a few times in the movie, which is cool.
I don't believe you.
All right. Then we have, how have we not pointed this out yet? Homura has a dream sequence while she's a witch, and we get Madoka who like T-poses and stands on a chair or something, and she like falls and splats into a pink splat, and then 4 giant Homuras stare down with like really lanky limbs, and then they're crushed by an even bigger version of Homura's hand, and then the giant witch version of Homura grabs that whole reality. It's like, whoa.
I vaguely remember the beginning of that.
Yeah, this is probably the most abstract part of this movie. It was kind of crazy. So yeah, liked it. We have 2 more, Kyle. She chops her head off and her brain looks like a flower. And at the same time, she's a crying lizard. Do you remember that? There's like a little lizard on a cliff and it has like a purple eye or something. And it's like, oh my God, that's Homura. And she's like speaking with Homura's voice and she's like a lizard. And I'm like, whoa.
I vaguely remember this now that you bring it up.
Yep. The last interesting visual thing is the kaleidoscopic frames of the incubator, where it's like a million incubators everywhere floating in the sky and they're like forming these weird patterns.
EliteAri, what's a kaleidoscopic?
Well, a kaleidoscope is that thing you look into and it has all weird like patterns and stuff. It's like
True, sounds like something like shapes that you're lame for knowing.
Yeah, exactly.
And not a film technique.
Yep.
Now, I think I vaguely remember that, and there's a lot of them. It's like through a bug, when you're looking through a bug's eye in a movie.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. True.
Yes, I'm smart.
So well done. Those are my visuals. So
Oh my god, I likened it to a film technique. I'm a genius. This joke is
you're
developing
so
in real
intuitive,
time.
Kyle. Yeah.
Intuitive. Can you spell that
Oh
word,
my god.
EliteAri?
Yeah, easily. Now, please go ahead, Kyle. What's your you were saying a miscellaneous note, and then I said, Kyle, we're gonna list all the visuals.
Yes, we were listing all the visuals. Now, this is a note I kind of already said where I was slightly confused by it because I didn't remember because we didn't really discuss the final episode. Sayaka is dead because of reasons, question mark. But the other two are back alive, question mark, because Sayaka turned into a witch, question mark.
Yeah, so this is my vague memory. I probably remember just as much as you do, but I think they were fighting a wraith, and she like used too much energy and died fighting a wraith, or like turned into the law of cycles consumed her when she was fighting a wraith. And then they have that whole scene in that final
So
episode.
it's not that she died. So is
Yeah.
Kyo, because at the very end, when we see the scene of Homer and QB that eventually turns into QB putting her in this thingy, in that world, the other girls are alive except Madoka doesn't exist.
I think so, except for Sayaka, who's not there.
But remember, there's a scene where Sayaka's watching her boyfriend growing up playing.
That's
but then they go to heaven.
My understanding is that is the Sayaka in this movie. Like, I think I would assume she like took. I don't really know. There's probably a good answer to this that I don't know, but I think she took.
But
Sayaka's
you just said
soul.
she died fighting a wraith or something.
Well, she expended too much energy, and the law of cycles took her when she was fighting that wraith. So maybe that's when Madoka takes her, and that's when Sayaka becomes her like, what did she say, like her secretary or something? That's what I would assume.
Maybe.
I don't know that there probably
But
is
when
a
does
very
this
good answer to
wraith
this.
happen? Like off screen in the last episode?
No, we see. Firstly, I could be completely wrong, but let's assume I'm not wrong. My memory is that when we flash to the new reality that's been remade by Madoka's wish, we get the scene where we're seeing all these magical girls who are in despair, and then they're all like, Madoka's coming and saving them. I think we also get a scene where, you know how the scene where Sayaka turns into a witch and she's sitting on before she turns into a witch, she's like sitting on some bench or something, and Kyoko shows up, and I think in that scene they have another scene in the anime where she's fighting. We don't see the fight, but we flash after the fight, and everyone's sad that Sayaka is dead. But they're like, oh, don't worry, she's not dead. She's like become a
Okay,
something.
I vaguely remember this or something. Yeah, because she'll go to the afterlife. Okay, maybe.
No, I could be wrong about that, but that's what
now,
I
had assumed that Bebe and Sayaka were in heaven because they died as witches, and Kyuko was back because she didn't die as a witch. She died fighting Sayaka's witch.
It's possible.
And Mami died fighting a witch, and Homer should still be alive. But Leary, either way,
That is very possible, or it could be the opposite, where it's like Sayaka and Charlotte or Baby or whatever. Maybe they were both converted before they turned into witches, and whereas Kyoko maybe just died because fighting the witch of. No, I couldn't. It doesn't make sense actually. I don't know. I'm going with my interpretation, okay? Until they correct us. Please comment. Please leave a comment. Please, we need you.
There's no fucking comments.
Please tell us how wrong we are. Hopefully, we say something really dumb in this, and someone will like correct it. It'd be great.
See, this is why you gotta call it Madoka Magica in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, true. No, but then you turn them off. They're like, these idiots. They're not gonna. Why are we listening to this 2 hour discussion?
Yeah, but then they'd leave mean comments.
That is true. All right. Well, then I guess I'll say one of my remaining 2 major notes, which is non-diegetic visuals, Kyle. I really like this. Now, I don't know if there's a better term for this, but I think this is probably the most accurate.
You're a genius, because I think I coined this term also in my head when I was watching this, but I don't remember my example. So
I guess firstly, to make sure we're on the same page, I guess to me, non-diegetic visuals would be like environmental storytelling or something to do with the actual visuals of the show, which the characters can't perceive, but we can, the audience. And it's like non-diegetic. It's like the music, which you can't hear, or the characters can't hear, but you can. Which I think I'm sure I've seen it before, but it's done basically in every scene here. And I guess there's 2. One of them would be like, for instance, when they're going to the city on the bus, and they see the city, and they're like, we should turn left here. And to us, the audience, we're like, that's not a city. That's like a weird abstract building thing. But to them, when they're looking, they're like, that's the city. Why aren't we turning into the city? And it's like, do they not see that it's not a city? And it's like a weird, like non-diegetic kind of disconnect there. Another more clear, this is like the clear example, which is that when Kyoko is in the DDR like arcade place, and Homura calls her, and she's like, do you remember Madoka or whatever? And she's like, yeah, do I? And should I? And she's like having a weird like moment there. But around her, when she's in the DDR place, there's like a bunch of posters of Madoka, not posters, like cardboard cutouts of Madoka. And it's like clearly she doesn't see them because she doesn't remember her. And it's like we see it as the audience, and it's like, it's non-diegetic visuals is my take. And then I'm just like a bunch of stuff like that, but those are probably the 2 clear
EliteAri, I've thought of a more basic example.
Go ahead.
Remember in Attack on Titan, Season 3, Part 2, where they're visualizing the battle on a little chibi map?
Okay, that's not what I was referring to. But I see what you mean there.
I know
Yeah.
it's completely different, but
Okay.
it's like a non-diet because that doesn't exist in the actual show, and it's just being shown for the audience. So it's like, and they can't
Yeah,
see it, but they're talking about it. Um,
that's kind
this
of
is
funny.
different.
Yeah.
I with the Sayaka thing. Wait, no, what's her name? Kyoto thing in the
Kyoko, yeah.
DDR room. When she seeing stuff around, I feel like things like that happen visually all the time. I guess you could call that all the time non-diegetic something or other.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You mean they happen all the time in other
Okay.
things or just in this?
Well, I'm thinking probably like Evangelion or whichever other
Oh
abstract
yeah,
anime I'm forgetting. That's
yeah.
probably Serial Experiments Lane. Now that I think about it,
I'm not saying that it's unique to this. I'm saying that it's almost in every scene of this.
I know, Leary, calm down. Don't
Yeah.
start punching people. My
Yep.
goodness.
All right.
I'm
Perfect.
trying to remember what the fuck I thought because I thought something about non-diegetic visuals, and both of your examples didn't ring a ding my brain a little.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I'll never remember it.
That's a shame, Kyle. One day it'll come to you, I'm sure. You could leave a comment down below if you remember, Kyle.
I could leave a comment down below, but I won't remember that either.
Okay. Now
What about my miscellaneous notes? You know,
Oh,
you
yes,
did one, then I
please.
did
Yes,
one, then you did
please.
one. Now I'm
Go
pretty
ahead.
sure all of my other ones are just like things that I jotted down from like the first 30 minutes that I rewatched briefly before this that we've already talked over. But I can't read while I'm speaking EliteAri, so I don't know yet. So I got to read them with you right now. Bebe is very cute until she's a dumb girl. Definitely
Sure.
brought that up. Mami's already actually really cool, bro. Like the coolest. Brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
Fight scene question mark. I had to remind myself to bring that up.
There is also something to say about how every time we've seen Mummy fight, she's always like very strong. Like she won in this. She like tied up Homura in the second episode or something back in the anime.
True, and that seemed weird.
And
why
she like remember when
just beat her?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Now we know why.
And there's also the scene where like as soon as they realize they turn into witches, she kills like two of them or something, or she kills like Kyoko.
True.
And it's like, well, Mummy's like crazy strong. So that's anyway, continue, Kyle.
And dedicated to the cause. And then we see her in her room and she's with Bebe. And, you know, one time she's coming out of the shower, EliteAri. Crazy.
Yeah. True.
Now, I'm pretty sure if she's probably in like the 10th grade EliteAri. So it's not okay.
I think they said that she's 9th, I think, at some point.
No,
she was like a year older than everyone else.
She's got big tits, EliteAri. What are we, crazy?
Yeah, if you want to call, you can call that fan service if you'd like. Okay, this is the more
True,
I can understand this type of fan service.
Yeah. What does filler mean in anime, EliteAri? You want to argue about that?
What a question.
Kyubey being cute is off-putting. True, talked about that. Retelling the first episode again. Oh, we like to do that in Madoka Magica. It's cute.
Yeah, we do. There was also
I think that's an Ava thing too, right? I think.
Sure. Yeah.
Or is it a Lane thing, EliteAri? All this abstract shit just with mom's wanted my mom.
Mm-hmm. True.
There's something else that does it too. I'm not going to remember, EliteAri. You got to cut me off when I say rhetorical things like that and say, shut up.
Mm.
That's all my notes, EliteAri.
Okay, so what is this? I have a thing saying interesting visual motifs. Now I have two examples. One of them is the hair. So we've talked about this. So when it's braided, she's being who she wants to be.
EliteAri, everybody shut the fuck up. I got a hair point that I'm going to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in said shower scene, we don't actually see the shower, EliteAri. This isn't Black Lagoon. Mami's like trying to straighten her hair, but then she has to go to be a magical girl, so it makes her hair into circles again, and she's sad about it. That was so cute.
Yeah,
EliteAri.
that was great. True.
And it also shows thematically, you know, she's never allowed to relax because she's always got to be a magical girl. So she can't wear her hair even the way she wants because she's got to transform all the time.
Amen. Oh my god,
I didn't. Thematic characterization.
Very true.
Go ahead, EliteAri.
No, we'll talk about what I was going to say later. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So Homura's hair. Okay, so there's two states of her hair. It's either braided or it's straight. Okay, non-braided. Now when it's braided, clearly that's a callback to when she was like wearing glasses and her first loop in this world where, you know, with braided hair.
When she was lame.
And that signifies whenever her hair is braided is that either she wants to be like her old self or like other people want her to be like her old self. And the example is like when Madoka is like tying up or braiding her hair when they're hugging or whatever. And it's like, oh, Madoka wants her to be her old self, you know? Then there's the other case.
It is.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, please.
There is an interesting thing with Madoka's characterization where she works. It very much feels like the same character, but she works so well as the Homura and as the Madoka. I'm choking EliteAri. Where it's like she works so well as the little girl that needs to be like hugged and told everything is all right, but she also works super well as like the comforting, like everything will be all right and you believe it girl. Like when she's doing the hair, she's like, Homer, and you need to do this because I am your mother and I know everything.
Yeah,
but she also works when I guess for both characters it works when the dynamic is completely different.
That's
and then both characters also become gods. and they're like also a little bit different in both regards when they've awakened.
That is very
And it's like
interesting
because of
because it
their
is
relationship.
like if you think
Yeah, I'll
about
just
it,
write a video about it, Illyria. You know, I'm pretty fucking smart and stuff, and you know.
yeah, in the show, because initially there is the swap in dynamic where initially Madoka is the first is like a magical girl and teaches Homura, you know, like what it is, and like she's more the guiding figure, and then she dies at the end, and she's like, Homura, go back, and then eventually Homura becomes the knowledgeable magical girl, and she, well, I guess she wants to prevent Madoka from becoming a magical girl, but she's more in control, and Madoka's the one in the headlights, you know. That's kind
You're
of
in the
really
headlight.
interesting, yeah. Well done, Kyle. Good point you made.
You know, genius and stuff. How many good points do you think we're going to do when we do your great stream and we watch all of the Madoka Magica videos? Do you think
Oh,
we're
well,
going to
probably
hit a single good point?
hundreds. Yeah, hundreds.
Hundreds of good points, he says.
Yeah,
How many videos are you going to stop at the 3-minute mark?
hundreds, Kyle, hundreds.
You got a craft off video to watch? Or what video to watch, Illyria?
Yep. All right, the hair,
Crazy.
okay? Braided or loose? When it's loose, obviously she's like falling back into a depressed, jaded self, okay?
So fucking cool, bro.
Now, what did I said when she's pushing it back? Oh yeah, there's also scenes like I said, she pushes it back and like runs her fingers through her hair, and that's moments where she's like forcing herself to kind of be like her old self.
Running your fingers through your hair is pretty cool, Leary.
True,
I've been doing
is.
it all day. I could do it right now. Now, Leary, if I ever see somebody with a Homura phone wallpaper and it's the one with the hair braided, we're gonna fight them on sight because they're losers and lame. But if we see them with the hair down, we're like, that's a cool guy.
Now, what if they have a picture of the witch version where she's like got her head chopped off? And...
Now that's a truly abstract artistic gentleman, and I'll ask him for a commission.
Genius. Okay. The other interesting visual motif, Kyle, is the flower field where they're looking. It's like a green field, or not always green, but it has flowers sometimes, and they're looking at the city. And we get a few scenes here, and I'm not sure what to take away from it, but it is a motif, and I'm sure there's some meaning behind it.
I think it was in the original show sometime too, right?
It could be. I don't recall exactly.
Like when Homura is talking to Madoka's fake mother in the last episode. But maybe not.
Oh, maybe. That could be. We'll go back. I'm not sure. We'll have a look after this, I guess. It feels like there probably are a lot of subtle references like that I've missed. Also a very, very niche thing. Maybe I have it somewhere else in these notes, but when you have the parallel scene at the beginning where they're doing the same thing, Madoka's stepping up and checking out her dad who's doing the water stuff, watering the plants and all that.
Cutting the tomato,
yeah, cutting the tomato and all that, and opening the blinds to wake her mum up and everything. Like, all that's paralleled pretty directly. But then when her mother's leaving the house, you don't get the portrait that was like a digital portrait that changed. That was what I noticed last time. And they changed it to just be like a normal portrait. I was like, oh, this is weird. So there's little changes like that, I'm sure, that are like intentional, and you can go back and
there is another little change, Leary. I know one.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, they talk about Hitomi and Kyosuke's dating, not the teacher dating.
Yes, when they're in the bathroom talking to her mum, true.
And also the teacher is obsessed with the end of the world because nobody wants to marry her.
Yep. Oh, and they were talking, did you see, they were talking about the Mayan thing, because this was back in 2012, or 2013, and 2012 was the big end of the, yeah. Oh, that's great.
Like, man, that's crazy.
Yep.
EliteAri, the type of guy not to believe the Mayan calendar.
Yep, true. I am that type of guy. And I was right. Okay, look at us. We're here.
Actually, the real 2012 is in like 2027.
All right, I guess we'll have to see. So there's three things here, the flowers. Okay, one of them, Madoka and Homura, they sit there and they chat after their first meeting in this world, and they're happy in this moment. So this is like, Homura gets introduced at the school, and then they like afterwards, they're like, oh my god, you're a magical girl, and they like sit on this, just her and Madoka sitting on this hill.
Larry, question.
Please, yes.
Now, has the school always been so churchy, or is this some Madoka Jesus retconning? Because when they're on the roof, which is before they go to this little scene you're talking about, they all meet on the roof that they always talk at, and we get a shot, and in the background, the school looks very churchy. Now, is that always the case? Maybe? Or is it now being changed a little bit? Love Jesus?
It might be the case. I didn't notice. When I saw that, though, there were a few shots. I know what you're talking about. I immediately thought of Revolutionary Girl Utena, because the school, it looked very similar to the school there for some shots, and I was like, oh, interesting. I don't know what to take from that,
Revolutionary Girl Utena. That's a cool show, Leary. I watched the dub, and the mouths didn't match. Mm-hmm.
That's also an abstract show. Probably way more abstract than
I've
this.
heard Leary.
Not visually,
yeah,
though.
She's a prince, and she's got a girlfriend, and she's got brown skin like Casca. And then...
All right.
I don't know. I know some spoilers or something.
So they're sitting in this scene and they're happy in this moment. And there's a meta interesting kind of thing going on here, Kyle, where they're like, oh, 1 month has already passed. And doesn't it feel like no time
Yeah.
at all has passed? And I'm like, yeah, because it was the last scene. That's crazy. We're just like skipping over things here. That was a funny medical out. And Kyle, it reminded me of a great episode of Doctor Who where you open the episode and one of the main characters is like living in this world and they have kids and stuff and a family. And then like the next scene, no, I think it's like first they're living alone and then the next scene is like they're getting married or something. And then the next scene is they're having kids and then they start pointing out, they're like, isn't time going a bit too fast? And doesn't it just feel like we were just married yesterday or something? And it's cool. We love Doctor Who. And Madoka
So that
Magica
actually
did it
is
too.
cool because it's playing off the thing in stories where sometimes they do cut to the next scene and have a character exposit that it's been a month later. But
Yep.
because the core dynamic of the movie / Doctor Who episode is that time is going oddly fast, it also mirrors that.
Yep.
That's very subversive and cool, EliteAri. But Doctor Who is lame. And when does he get his little eyeglass out and look for clues and tell what and what to do?
In the Snowman episode of season 7. So there you go.
No.
So Madoka, what else? After beating Hitomi, they all stand on the hill, look at the city.
Let's
And,
watch a Revolutionary Girl Utena, EliteAri. What are we doing?
yeah, I would do that.
How many episodes? 50 something?
37, I think, or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so crazy. I'll find a torrent real quick.
Yep. And
a super cool movie, right? That's just like End of Ava.
I haven't actually seen Adolescence of Utena. That's the one thing I haven't seen of Utena, and everyone
That's
loves
like
it.
the most abstract thing of all
Yeah,
time.
I know. I am excited to one day watch it, but nope, haven't seen it yet.
God, he's a failure.
Yeah. Anyway, this hill thing's a motif, right? We've already talked about the other two examples. One is like when Homeda's sad and she's looking at it and she's like, oh my god, this might be just be... Oh, also I had a genius idea, Kai, because they talk about nightmares and dreams and stuff. And then I said in this moment where she's looking out on the city, she's realizing that she's in a daydream. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a literary genius here. Yeah, thank you.
We'll pat you on the head.
Yep. And then after the boat ride, and before she leaves the city on the bus and destroys everything, she runs into Madoka, and they have that scene with the braiding hair and everything. So blah blah blah, crazy.
With the breeding, he says.
Braiding. They're doing like
they are in love.
No. Well, I think Homeda is clearly in love with Madoka. But no, that's actually not clear because she says, and she makes it very clear. She says, "This is an emotion only I can feel. It's like a complex thing no one else is gonna understand. It's love." And I'm like, oh, interesting. So yeah.
Love.
I only have-
Lamau.
Kyle, I have 2 points left. That's it. Can you believe this?
1, 2.
One of them. So many parallels. And then I said, why?
Is it a
So-
parallelogram?
No. So
I'm gonna call
Madoka,
back theory, no biggie.
there's the scenes we've talked about at the beginning of this movie where it's all paralleled. Then there's a scene right at the end where she's walking down the hallway and it's just like the scene where she's like, can I get the nurse's aide to help me and take me to the nurse's place? And they even
But
talk
the
about
nurse's
similar
aid ain't
things.
here.
Well, yeah, true, because Madoka was the nurse's aide, but now she's not or something, and Homeda is guiding around the school because Madoka's the new student here. Crazy, oh my gosh. So yeah, crazy, parallel. Homeda says, it's okay, you're exactly what you should be, what you've always been. Madoka Kaname, do you treasure the world you live in, or would you break its laws to follow your heart? And Madoka says, yes, I do treasure this world, but I don't think a person should go and break the rules just because they feel like it. True.
But that's what she did, my goodness.
Yeah, crazy. And then my final note here, Kyle, I said, oh, we love the Hitomi pre-nightmare scene where she's in her firstly, she's in a giant rich house, which is great because the first note I wrote about her when I was going through the show is that she's rich because it's like the first thing that Sayaka points out. And we never got any hint of her being rich. And Sayaka's room even looked big in the TV show. And I was like, oh, I guess Sayaka's rich too, but she's not. And I don't know. But it was great. She had a nice rich place and she was playing the piano. No, she like had a piano or something and it was great. We love it.
And she had a big bed and she threw the pillow up and then it hit her in the face.
Yep. That is great because Kyosuke we hate Kyosuke, okay? He's not making time.
Yeah,
for
what a
her.
little dweeby.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I don't know, I'm a bit busy with my practice or whatever.
Violins are lame.
Jesus. Even if he was busy, he should be like, you know what? I'll set this date aside, a month from now. So we're going on this date here. That's when we're going to do something together, okay? But no, he doesn't do that. We hate him.
Just quit doing a violin. Lame.
Yeah,
now, EliteAri, I just figured out a great thing.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
See, what happened is this original show came out and everybody thought like you and I, EliteAri. They said, Kyosuke, he's a little dweeb, Lou's a little dork.
Mm-hmm.
And so the studio got a lot of hate mail. So that's why in this movie, Sayaka just says, that guy sucks.
Oh, yeah, she talked about how she got... No, wait, not
That's
Sayaka,
what she
right?
gets for dating Captain Obvious or something is what she says. Oblivious, she calls him, oblivious.
Yeah, she talks about how like, oh, I'm over him and I've had life experience and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's what I said in that
True, because he
discussion last time.
fucking
Oh my
died,
god.
bro.
Yeah.
No, you didn't say nothing like that.
Yeah, I said that if only that she had the life experience to realize that there's more important things and how to deal with
Shut up,
this, and she didn't
EliteAri.
have it,
What
but
a
now she
loser.
does. You know, it's great.
He
She's
thinks he's a
matured.
foreshadowing
We love
genius. Wait until
Sayaka.
he goes back and listens to those fucking House of the Dragon reviews and he
Oh
realizes
boy. Yeah.
this is I just spoiled shit for him and he's a fucking idiot.
Mhm.
Now, shut up, Sayaka. Oh, remember when Sayaka has a cool scene with
You got this.
Homer at the end? Shut the fuck up, idiot. I wasn't even saying Kyo.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
That
The
was the
scene
worst
in
I've ever
her
done.
in the new reality?
Yeah, when she's like,
Yeah.
oh, and then there's like a stream and there's stuff going down the stream or something. I forget.
Mm-hmm. If you say so.
But it was cool, right? She said, "You're a bitch," and then she cackled and said, "I'm a devil
And
now,
she's like,
bitch.
"What?
Fuck you."
Who are you again? I don't remember you." And she's like, I remember, but I don't remember. And what was my mission? I don't remember. And I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, crazy. We love Psycho.
Oh yeah, she was slowly forgetting. Yes, I remember. I recall.
Yep.
Now,
But I guess that's it,
oh
Kyle.
my god, we're up to the great predictions thing. You're gonna retell me what I saw in that trailer that I forgot, and we're gonna predict the ending and
no.
about whether or not suicide is gonna be validated.
I barely remember this trailer that I saw like 6
What
months ago.
Perky Smash is in a title, leader.
Oh yeah, it is. It's like World Purgish Snack the Rising or something, right?
We're actually gonna have a fight, and somebody's gonna beat him instead of arrowing him out of existence.
Her, firstly, they're all magical girls and witches, okay. But
now, would a trans girl or a trans boy be a witch, EliteAri? Which is
this
the
is
trans
beyond me. I don't know. The whole witch thing is about
the trans boy couldn't.
No,
be
it's
a witch,
about
obviously.
well, it has to do with
Biology doesn't
adolescence, right? So it would be whatever you are during your adolescence, I guess. I don't know. All right, I don't know. I have no idea. I barely remember anything.
You truly are, EliteAri, you fucking transphobe.
Yeah, but what about from the incubator's perspective? That's who I'm speaking through right now.
Oh,
So,
they would be big transphobes, I think.
yeah, so I guess I was. Yeah, I'm sorry. Now,
No, they probably got a machine that lets you instantly change.
mm-hmm. Well, Kyle, you're the only one who remembers anything from this trailer, so you got to tell. All I remember, just before you start talking, because you've seen it recently, I would say I remember looking at it and being like, "This visually looks really good." I was like, "Oh, there's no way it's going to live up to the Rebellion movie." That
it looks
really
slightly more modern, EliteAri. So
I do remember that. Yeah, it looks more smooth. Like it looked like polished and smooth and stuff. Is what I remember. But and it was like a bow. Like I think Madoka or Homodo, one of them was shooting a bow or something. That's all I remember.
My name's EliteAri, and I think Jujutsu Kaisen is good. That's you, EliteAri.
Sure it is, yeah.
Now, Madoka Magica trailer, EliteAri. Let's bring this up right now.
Yep.
So, oh my god, we've got a thumbnail, and it looks like it's supposed to be Homer, but it doesn't look like her because modern art style. Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, oh my god, I'm seeing some visual abstract nonsense, and then Homer, and she's like posing on a harp or an arrow or something, and she looks evil. Can you fight against the curse of this world? Oh my god, that's crazy. And then we've got a bunch of hieroglyphics, and then I saw Wapergismat, and then it has a thing that I accidentally paused on, which is a bunch of text that's only supposed to be on screen for 1 frame. So let's read this, EliteAri. Official name, stage witch, real name unknown. Its nature is helplessness. The symbol of a fool that spins. This is just going to be fucking abstract bullshit, EliteAri. Oh my god, magical girls, 1 frame for a lot of stuff. Oh my god, Homer again. She's seeing a lot of stuff, and then there's somebody eating one of those things that helps that the souls are trapped in. A lot of characters looking over their shoulders. They saw Cube. It's just flashing images, EliteAri. She has a phone again. You're going to say it's going to fall like a feather. There's this bow you're talking about, EliteAri. A bow. It looks like maybe it was Homura. It said magical quintet again. And now the more abstract stuff, and then the director and the writer are the same, and then Mommy's falling and she's grabbing onto the hair thingy that she made. She's the coolest. The city looks ultra modern now, and something's being built on top of it. That's crazy. Then we're getting the original 3 trio with the stupid girl that stole Sayaka's bitch. That's Kyosuke. Why are they walking together? And then Homer seems at the end, she's got an umbrella and she's standing in front of a magical fountain that looks very abstract and stuff. Oh my god, Kyukyo and Mami, my queen. I got another one. Sayaka's got her fucking face all bandaged up, EliteAri. What the fuck's the go with that? And then Cube close up. That's scary, EliteAri.
Is that the end?
And then Paper. Shut up, EliteAri. And she's falling off and she's made like a big tower of like junk, it looks like. She's just like Jesus, for real. Also, let the curtain rise on tonight's dream. Dream, EliteAri. Oh my god, she's sitting on like a throne. And she's like doing a pose.
And there's books around her. I went back and I'm watching it with you.
No, you're not. Well, what?
Crazy, but I can't show it on screen. I'm sorry, guys.
Rising.
But yeah. I don't
So that
know
didn't
what's
tell
gonna
us shit,
happen.
EliteAri.
They could literally do anything.
So,
They could be like,
EliteAri, shut up.
please, yeah, go ahead.
I got ideas. Not anything, EliteAri. So does Madoka just win again, and she is now God again, and we're back to like we reverted everything that happened in this silly bad movie where everything went bad, or is there a different resolution that involves not condoning suicide?
I have no idea. I don't even care. We
Well,
just want,
neither
you
do
know what
I,
we want,
idiot. So
Kyle?
how
All
about
I
you
want?
come up with
There's
it?
2 things I want. One,
Animation?
cool abstract visuals. Okay. The other thing I
Just watch the
want
trailer, EliteAri.
is for it to be good. Okay, that's the only other thing I want.
True.
Okay, there's nothing else.
And not ruin out my favorite character just like this.
I don't care. They can ruin nothing they can do can ruin these 2 movies.
In the first 30 seconds because we're trying to parallel episode 3,
That would be
EliteAri,
funny.
I'm gonna stop watching.
Oh yeah, what if Bebe isn't in this and she's in her witch form the whole time? Or her magical girl form?
I didn't see her in the trailer, EliteAri.
Oh.
I did see Sayaka though, so if Sayaka is there and she's supposed to be in heaven, then Bebe can be there.
Yep. Who knows? I guess the real
And I don't want
question
to see no girl.
wouldn't it be really cool if it's actually revealed that all of this was part of the incubator's plan and it was all going according to plan? That'd be sick. I'd
Well,
love
that's
that.
certainly got to be a plot point at some point. Maybe it wasn't all their plan, but they're back on top at some point.
We do end this movie with the post-credit scene with the incubator that's malnourished and everything, but then we get a close-up of its eye and it's like, what's going on here? Is it going to get revenge?
Because it does seem like we're just torturing the little cube because we're Homura and we don't like them.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Well, she said the incubators are necessary for the wraiths to still be accounted for or something. Like they're still needed to exist. She could not rewrite the world without them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yes, please go ahead.
Oh,
now
yes,
what?
Without them, I thought that was a wrong.
That was my thorough.
Now I was about to say, EliteAri, I've seen many a story where there's a little alien man and he doesn't feel emotion, or a little immortal man like in Black and O and he doesn't feel emotion or pain. And then guess what? An evil character tortures them for 25 years. And then they finally say, I understand human emotion now. I hate you, bitch.
Oh, that'd be sick. Oh, I would love that, Kyle.
Because this whole time we've been like, I don't have emotion. But the truth is, EliteAri, everybody has emotion.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. That's actually
so
good, Kyle. And it would make the final scene there of this movie so good. Because it is like in that moment.
It's already happened. That's what we're opening with. It's going to be a Cube monologue about how I finally understand.
Like he understands hatred.
He's going to have a deep voice now,
suffering,
and it's going to be menacing.
I love it.
And then Madoka is going to have to hug the little Cube at the end. So we're going to see what really backstory, EliteAri. We got to see which girl it was.
That'd be cool. Yep.
What if it was like the littlest girl because you think it's going to be like a big girl?
True. Yeah. Well, it'd probably be.
What if it's just Madoka's witch form? We've seen them all except for hers and Kyoko.
I guess wouldn't it be that the more despair you have, the crazier witch you would be, or something? So maybe it's
the strongest.
Wouldn't it be crazy if it was like someone like Ymir from Attack on Titan who like loved the whatever, like some crazy evil person, and then she suffers for all of eternity. So that'd be
manifests cool. And stuff. Now, EliteAri, if you recall, I've just recalled something that hasn't been paid off from the original show. Remember, one time Madoka did transform into a witch, but we only saw vague shots of the sky, and then Homura had to go back, and so obviously we're gonna have to see that at some point.
True.
It can't be Wapergashmet though, EliteAri, because she died fighting Wapergashmet. So that's crazy. Do we have any confirmation this is the last movie, or are we?
No, I have no idea. But who cares? They could announce in 20 years there's another one coming. Who cares if there's another one?
Well, it matters to my predictions, EliteAri, because we could be fighting Madoka Evil in the 5th movie, not the 3rd movie.
Yeah, true. I'm not sure. No, this is perfect. Please, you're listening right now. I know you are. You're hearing me right now. James, that's you. I know you're listening right now. Please leave a comment.
Name's Jimmy.
Yeah, leave a comment saying what is going to give us all the info about the movie that we don't know anything about, please. And that's it. Nothing else.
EliteAri, I'm out of predictions, I think.
Yep. So, in summary.
Ranking the girls in order. Mami, number 1. Sayaka, number 2. Nah, Kyuko's way cooler. She's number 2. Sayaka's number 3. Madoka, still number 4. Homura, still number 5.
Okay.
Where does Bebe go? Oh my god!
What a design Bebe has. The cartoonish look, the
voice
cloak,
is the best part of EliteAri.
Yeah, the voice,
like the voice.
Talking about cheese and oh god. Let's see, who's the best? I don't know. Sayaka's probably. I really like Sayaka. Let's just talk about this movie. In this movie, we got. Oh
well, in this movie, my ranking is absolute.
Okay, Homura is not the best. It'd probably. I don't know. God, this is too difficult. Let's be a bit controversial here, okay? We're gonna think.
So why is Mami not number 1, you pussy?
In this movie, she probably is number 2, okay? But you know what? I've decided, okay? In this movie, obviously Homura is the best, and then we've got Madoka, who is the second best, and then we've got Mami.
See how
and
this
then,
is? He's just a contrarian. This is the exact opposite of my list.
Yeah, then we have Mami, and then we have is Kyoko the other one left? I guess.
You didn't say Sayaka yet, so I don't know.
Oh no! Okay, here we go. So I got it. Everyone, listen right now. So
Take
Homura, Madoka, Mami, Kyoko, and then Sayaka, then Kyoko. There we go. Probably in order of like how much they actually do in this movie, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, EliteAri's a moron. His favorite character is always the main character because he does more.
True.
What a fucking incompetent. Mami's the coolest because she's the coolest, EliteAri. Get that through your thick skull.
Yep. Well, in terms of designs, actually, I think I do like Homura's black dress when she was a witch. That was kind of cool.
Madoka's design as a witch kind of sucks, EliteAri, and I'm ready to talk
Wait, as a
about
witch or a magical girl?
A magical girl.
No, I love it. I think of all the main ones in the show, Madoka's is the best, I think. I like it a lot.
Contrarian
she spent
again,
the most time. She drew it on with the little like sketchbook. It was great.
Yeah, that's cute, but that's why it's bad.
No, it's good because it's good.
Bad intentionally, yes.
It's good intentionally too. So it's a contradiction.
Sayaka's is blue, so that's pretty good. Mami's is yellow, which means it should be terrible. But it's also kind of white.
But it's kind of like cheese, and that's what Bebe likes. Crazy. Oh my god.
Cheese, yeah, and Bebe ate her that one time. That was crazy.
Yep.
But that's the fake reality. The movie's the real reality.
Yep.
Kyoko, I don't usually like red EliteAri, but she is the coolest one. She's got the most personality. She's always yapping. I like that. Now, who am I missing out? Homura. Homura's just pretty cool, bro. Her hair's always down, and that's cool.
Yep. And she wears red glasses sometimes. Oh my gosh, we love red glasses.
No, she doesn't wear glasses at all.
Oops. Okay. And that's it. Okay, thank you for coming, guys. Next time, we have no idea.
Ranking the powers in order.
Yeah, we'll be back in like a year from now when the next movie comes out. Or probably 7 months.
I'm not going to a theater and being seen with these fucking otaku EliteAri. I'll tell you that much.
And I am probably gonna watch it. I don't know. Will I watch it dub? Will I watch it sub? Who knows? I guess we'll have to find out.
Oh my god, I have to do that too.
Yep. All right. Thank you. See you next time.
Tuesday.